UFC Perth takes place this weekend, and I'm about to roll through the entire card, give you my picks, predictions, and breakdown for the event from the prelims to the main event. And we're going to hop right into it. But before we do, throw a like down, throw a subscribe, and let me know your favorite underdog of the week. Let me know your favorite pick of the week in the comments as well. We have not done a breakdown for UFC in quite some time. It's been a few weeks, actually. I've been still making sure to get my Dana White's Contender Series stuff out. Obviously, I'm getting this out a bit later in the week, but Saturday, we are doing our video for Dana White's Contender Series. I will drop that on Sunday. Sunday, I'll do a recap for the UFC Perth card, and then Monday, I will drop next week's UFC card picks. We are heading straight into a 9-week UFC marathon, so I'm very happy about it, and I'm trying to get more consistent and start posting earlier in the week so people can see my thoughts. We'll hop right into it. This card is going to be mostly based on vibes. I've been really busy this week, but of course, I'm very familiar with most of these fighters. I've looked into the ones I'm not as familiar with, but that's enough yapping out of me. Like I said, like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. First bout of the night, we have Loma Lukbumi and Alexia Tainara. Women's strawweight bout. Tainara is pretty damn good. I mean, from what we've seen from her so far in her UFC debut, she looked pretty impressive, man. Loma Lukbumi, she is very small. Of course, Alexia Tainara is only 5'4", so it's like, oh, it's not that much of a difference. But when you see them in there, it will look like a difference. And Loma Lukbumi has good Muay Thai striking. She's decent in the grappling. I think she has one win by submission. But this Tainara chick, if she wants this fight on the ground, I think she's going to be able to get it there. I don't think she's going to be outclassed in the striking department either. I think this prospect is actually very solid. So for what it's worth, I'm going to go with Alexia Tainara, and I would not be surprised if she was able to find a submission finish. But in all likelihood, this one goes to the scorecards. Loma Lukbumi is pretty tough, but Tainara might be the truth. So I'm going to go with Tainara here, 12-1 prospect. And next we got two guys that they don't even have pictures for. All right, so for this one, I'm going with Brando Perisic. He's fighting in Australia. To me, this looks like a showcase bout. They're definitely looking to get the Australian guy a nice knockout to get the hype going for the card. We have a heavyweight bout. This guy's a pretty solid striker. But just preface this, I did not do much research for this pick at all. I'm not very familiar with Alicia Ellison, but from what I did see, it looks like they want the Australian to get a knockout, and they want the crowd to go crazy to get the prelims lit. So I don't want to go too much into this and start talking about some stuff I don't know about. I just know that Brandon Perisic looks like the better, cleaner fighter, and I think they're setting him up here to make a statement. So the fans are going to get lit. So that's all we got for that one. Next, we got Michelle Montague and Luana Carolina. I hate that they don't have the picture for her. I hate that the record's 0-0. She's 0 feet tall. She doesn't have any reach, and her weight is just LB. I mean, I gotta go with Michelle Montague here. I really wanted to take Luana Carolina, but we're gonna say this. This will be the breakdown for this fight. If you're familiar and you use Twitter, a lot of rain bet slips have been coming in on Luana Carolina. So I can just leave it at that. Michelle Montague should get the job done here, solely based on the rain bet promotions that are going on Twitter. If you know anything about rain bet, typically we see wagers that'll be like $300, $400. Somebody like, oh, this person has this value to win, and they never win, ever. Except for Hetcher Souza. He won recently. I saw him on a rain bet slip the other day, but that was the only one I've seen, and I've seen like 30 of them at least by now. The one in Carolina low-key is live, but we're going to go with the young newcomer here. Michelle Montague should be able to get the job done, but this is a closer fight than I believe the odds are suggesting. I haven't looked at the odds yet, but if Luana Carolina is some sort of massive underdog, she actually could be worth a slight sprinkle, like a quarter unit or a tenth of a unit. Like a little $10 bet. Like if she's plus 500, fuck it, throw on the dog. But the rain bet slip is worrisome for me. And here we got Josias Musasa and Colby Thickness at bantamweight. This is one where I'm like, are we going to rate Colby Thickness higher than we should because of his losing effort against Ilia Toporia's brother? and like we're gonna be like, oh, this guy could be the next guy. Look how close this fight was, and then he's just not that guy. Maybe, but Josias Musasa, he didn't look very impressive against what's homie's name, Carlos Vera. I actually picked Carlos Vera on that one, I believe. He landed a head kick over the top, immediately hopped onto the sub. Josias Musasa is, what do I say? Maybe green is the right word. He's not the most polished fighter. For this one, I'm going to go with Colby Thickness. I think Thickness is going to hit him with the quickness. I think he's going to be a little bit slicker, a little bit cleaner. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter here. I think he's the more polished technical fighter here. Of course, I could say Josias Musasa is live to get something big off on him. Hey, yo. But I think Colby Thickness will be able to stay safe, keep his range, and then potentially grapple if he needs to or wants to. These are quick picks this week. Like I said, I'm just giving through. I'm giving my picks, not my bets. These are just who I think is going to win based off of the knowledge I have on these fighters. I typically like to do more research. And like I said, I'm going to be getting back to the breakdowns on time, well read. We're going to be back at it soon. I just wanted to put my picks out there so I have it logged. I like to see my pick rate. And this week, I think we're going to have a pretty good one. Even with the lack of formal research, I am very familiar with a lot of these fighters, though, like I said. Give me Colby Thickness. I think he was pretty impressive in his debut. We'll see if he ends up not living up to that losing effort. Of course, why are we going to judge a fighter on a loss? Look how good that loss was. Hey, he lost, all right? But so did Josias Musasa to Carlos Vera, and I don't trust him. I trust Colby Thickness to be a little bit more polished out there. And next we got a tough one to pick. This one I've been thinking about more than most. Jamie Malarkey and Rolando Bedoya at a lightweight bout. Rolando Bedoya came in on short notice against Chaos Williams, a dangerous power puncher at welterweight, up a weight class. He looked a lot smaller, and he put on a very, very good performance for his short notice debut. He looked like he had a chin of granite. He was actually moving his head pretty well in that fight, rolling off punches. He got hit a lot, but he did not get hurt, and Chaos Williams has a lot of power. And then since then, I believe he's on a 2-fight or 3-fight losing streak. So it hasn't been playing out for him too well. But to be fair, well, not since then. That was the first of the 3 losing. So he lost to Chaos Williams. He lost to Kenan Song and Jai Herbert. Chaos Williams, bigger power puncher. And then the second 2 guys, Kenan Song and Jai Herbert, are pretty technical, high-level strikers, So I don't knock him too much for that. Jamie Malarkey, in his own respect, is a pretty decent striker as well. He has that little Popeye boxing thing he likes to do. Chin issues are going to be on the side of Jamie Malarkey. We've seen him clipped. Rolando Bedoya, he can eat a good shot. He didn't look like he was eating as well against Jai Herbert. So from Chaos Williams to Jai Herbert, it looks like he's taken some significant damage in his own respect. But I want to go with Bedoya. I kind of wish I looked at the odds here. I think Bedoya could be a live underdog. Jamie Malarkey is pretty good, and I can just see it now. Rolando Bedoya goes out there. We're all like, yeah, Bedoya should get it done. And then he just looks one-dimensional, throwing the same combo. It's not working, doesn't make adjustments, and Jamie Malarkey can kind of just pick him apart. But my gut's telling me go with Rolando Bedoya. I think there's a chance that he can tag Malarkey. It's not like Bedoya has this unworldly power, but I think he could potentially overwhelm Malarkey. And I don't know, man. God damn it. I want to pick Bedoya, but for some reason, something's telling me Jamie Malarkey's going to win. Bedoya's on a 3-fight losing streak, though, man. He needs a dub here. I'm going to go with Rolando Bedoya off the strength. He's young. I can only hope that he's been improving in the gym. And I think he does show flashes of some decent potential, and maybe hopefully he goes out here and he adds a couple new wrinkles to his game. Maybe he can sprinkle in some grappling and overwhelm Jamie Malarkey and potentially get some damage in as well. So I'm going to go with Rolando Bedoya. I want him to win this fight. That might be biased. Something's telling me Jamie Malarkey's live. I did not look at the odds, but I'm going to go with Rolando Bedoya. And here we have Jonathan Mikalev and Oban Elliott at welterweight. I'm seeing everyone is picking Mikalev here. It's so funny how it changes. Oban Elliott was a pretty hyped prospect, and then he loses to Suk-Kyung Ko, I believe his name was, and in a dominant effort as well. He was a -500 favorite, and he kind of just got nullified in that fight. But I'm not ready to give up on Oban Elliott yet. Shout out to D Wood. Shout out to Combat Sports Today. My homie D Wood over there repping Wales. So you know what I'm doing. This is an all biased pick. I'm going with Oban Elliott, and I'm going with Oban Elliott to get it done inside the distance. Maybe not inside the distance, but just like my boy D Wood was always rocking with Matt Semmelsberger, he's rocking with the fighters where I'm from. I'm rocking with the fighters where he's from. I'm always picking Oban Elliott. He's probably an underdog in this fight. I'm not sure. Jonathan Mikalev is pretty good. He has good striking. Is a good left high kick, I believe it was. He was tagging Kevin Doucette with it over and over and over again. Oban Elliott does have a good chin. He's going to have to look out for that head kick. It could provide some difficulty for him. But I think that head kick's going to be coming up a lot. If it's anything like the Doucette fight, Mikalev likes to spam that kick, and I think Oban Elliott can work in some wrestling and grapple, potentially finding a submission, even though Mikalev is also good at grappling. I'm going with Oban. I'm just rooting for Oban here. Fuck it. Fade this pick if you want, but I'm going with Oban. Oban Elliott. Let's go. Welsh Gangster for the dub. Next, we got Cameron Ralston and Andre Petroski. I wanted to pick Andre Petroski here, but I'm pretty sure Cameron Ralston is a underdog. And I got to go with the underdog, man. I think Andre Petroski's path to victory is going to be through grappling. Cam Ralston, in his own respect, is also a good grappler. He does have some wins by submission. He actually has more wins by sub than he does knockout, if I'm not mistaken. Cameron Ralston is going to be the longer, taller fighter here. Andre Petroski typically has gas issues. He will not stop fighting. He does have heart. He has dog, but he does tend to slow down a little bit. And I think if he can't get his wrestling off, I think he loses this fight. And I think even if he does get the wrestling off, he's liable to get... I want to say liable to get sub, but Andre Petroski's no slouch in the grappling. He competes in grappling. He's pretty good down there. He's strong. Decent wrestling, but not that great. Something's telling me Ralston's going to turn up. He was an underdog on the Contender Series recently, and very short turnaround for him. He didn't take much damage. Obviously, he got a pretty quick finish, so... He's ready to go to fight on the Perth card. He's repping Australia. So I'm going with Cam Ralston as an underdog. I feel like this pick might end up looking pretty free. I like Andre Petroski. He's out of Philly, American fighter. But just based on his win condition, I think he's going to need to grapple here. And Cam Ralston is no slouch in that department. So give me Cam Ralston to keep it on the feet or to get back to his feet when being taken down to withstand any early aggression that Andre Petroski has. And then as the fight gets later, Cam Ralston will be the fresher guy and potentially find a finish via knockout or submission. Obviously, those are the only two methods of submission. The boy is tired, I got to say. Cam Ralston inside the distance. But Andre Petroski by decision, if that's juiced, could be worth a sprinkle, like a little hedge. Take Cam Ralston money line for a unit and then sprinkle like a quarter unit or something on Andre Petroski by decision, because I do think if Petroski wins, it's probably going to be a control-based decision. Next, we have Navajo Sterling and Rodolfo Bellato at light heavyweight. Now, I got to say this. I'm not that high on Navajo Sterling. I hear other people speak about him, and people are typically talking about how amazing he is, how incredible his striking is, and I just don't see it. I see timidity. I see hesitant, apprehensive behavior when he's in there fighting. I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust his chin or if he doesn't want to get hit or if he's just being patient. But sometimes it looks like he's a little bit too patient. His fight against Ivan Erslan was closer than I would have liked it to be. Obviously, he opened it up in the third round and, ran away with it. But all that being said, I could see him opening up a little bit more here. Rodolfo Bellato is going to be a bit of a dangerous first round test for Navajo Sterling. Although I'm not high on Navajo Sterling, something was telling me all week Navajo Sterling is going to go out there and find a finish by knockout over Rodolfo Bellato. We've seen Rodolfo Bellato dropped multiple times. My boy Ihor Potieria got him. Obviously, he didn't win that fight, but he dropped him bad. I can see Navajo Sterling going out there and putting Bellato's lights out. He does have 2 losses. Both come to Vitor Petrino, who's very one-dimensional. He's not the best striker. I think Navajo Sterling is a lot more technically sound than Petrino and also Bellato. So Bellato, if you're going to bet Bellato, I would say bet him in the first round. If he doesn't get Navajo Sterling out of there in round 1, I don't think he's going to have much of a chance here. Sterling is very technical. He is seemingly very polished as well, even though sometimes I don't like his hesitancy to engage. But something's telling me he's going to find a finish here by knockout. So give me Navajo Sterling, and give me Navajo Sterling by knockout. I think that he could have a showcase here after a couple underwhelming performances so far. And then we move on to the main card. We got Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell at lightweight. This is another tough one to pick, man. This one is just like the Rolando Bedoya, Jamie Malarkey for me, for different reasons, but it's a tough one, man. Both of these guys are pretty solid. Charlie Campbell, pretty good striking. Good striker. Decent power. Good combos. Tom Nolan, also, he's going to be taller, a little bit rangier. He has power as well. I think this fight ends inside the distance. Like I said, I haven't looked at any of the odds yet. I try to be as unbiased as possible. It's hard to go almost the entire fight week without checking the odds, but I would guess this fight is probably pretty closely lined. You got to think Tom Nolan's going to be the favorite here. But I would say the under is the play for this fight. I think somebody's going to get put out, and probably within the first 2 rounds. So under 2.5, unless it's like minus 400, obviously. Don't take an under when it's juiced like that. Half the time it doesn't end up hitting anyway. But if it's like, minus 120 or something, I think the under is a good play here. Based on who I think is going to win, I do think Charlie Campbell's live, honestly. But we have seen him chinned. And we have seen Tom Nolan chinned as well. I don't know. I think we could see Tom Nolan sit Charlie Campbell down with something straight down the middle, using the reach advantage, sitting Charlie Campbell down, and then hopping into a submission. So maybe a little club and sub victory here from Tom Nolan. I don't know what his sub prop is, but I would be interested to see. I'll drop a best bet video tomorrow where I go over lines of interest, fighter props, method props, over-unders, and a couple parlays as well. But something's telling me Tom Nolan's live here to get it done by sub. I would not be surprised if Charlie Campbell won. Like I said, this is a 50-50 fight. But Tom Nolan's a little bit taller, a little bit longer. I think he can use his range to stay safe. Charlie Campbell is pretty good, though. But something's telling me Tom Nolan by sub. So I'm going to go with Tom Nolan. I got to say, I'm rooting for Charlie Campbell, though. And next we got Justin Tafa and Louis Sutherland repping Scotland. This is another biased pick. My buddy, one of my brothers, Gof, shout out Gof. He's from Scotland, born and raised. That's my roommate. I've been friends with him for quite some time now. So anytime a Scottish fighter fights, you already know what the fuck going on. I'm rocking with Louis Sutherland to get it done inside the distance. I think he's going to get this fight to the ground, and I think he's going to beat the shit out of Justin Tafa. Somebody posted a picture of what he looked like pre-UFC and what he looks like now in the UFC, and it looks like there may have been some steroid use at some point. I'm not going to let that phase me. You already know I'm repping Scotland here. Just like when I'm repping Oban Elliott with Wales, I'm repping Scotland. Bias pick. Fade me if you want, but I think you're crazy if you're going to bet on 7-5 Justin Tafa. Anyway, I think at this point he's almost an immediate fade. Depending on the matchup, but I think Louis Sutherland is live to get this fight to the ground, and then beat the shit out of Justin Tafa down there. Once Justin Tafa's on the ground, he doesn't really have any way to get back up. He doesn't show any sense of urgency trying to get back up, and if he does, I think he's going to get submitted. If he doesn't and he's content with staying on the ground, he's going to get pounded. So give me Louis Sutherland, repping Scotland. You already know what the fuck is going on with that one. And next we have Jake Matthews and Neil Magny at welterweight. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. I think Jake Matthews, I want to say he's more primed. He's younger. He has a lot of experience in his own respect. Obviously, if there's anyone who's going to have more experience than Jake Matthews, of course, it's a guy like Neil Magny. This fight's tough. Neil Magny loses to killers usually. Like, look at his last few losses. They're against dogs, man. Lost to... who the fuck did he lose to? He's out here losing to dogs. And for some reason, I'm blanking. But if you go and look at his last 4 losses, it's going to be dogs. And then he finally gets a step down in competition for his last fight. Obviously, he derailed the hype train that was Mike Malott. And then in his last fight, he gets Elizeo Zaleski dos Santos, a guy closer in age to him, and he finishes the fight. So in this match against Jake Matthews, I think Jake Matthews is going to need to grapple. Sub is calling me. But Neil Magny's not an easy guy to finish. Um, if the fight goes the way Neil Magny wants it, he's going to be, for some reason, never using his reach, but he's going to be engaging in the clinch, pressing Jake Matthews up against the fence, um, and winning control, volume. Um, this is a tough test for Jake Matthews, man. We've seen him fall short plenty of times. I want to know what the odds are for this fight, man. I want to know what the odds are for this fight. I'm not going to look it up. This is a close one for me because I can just see Jake Matthews falling short yet again. But in Australia, coming off a very, very impressive win against Chidi Njokuani, he's the younger fighter. He's taken a lot less damage in his career. I got to go with Jake Matthews here. And I think he's most likely going to get it done on the scorecards. But if he's able to get the grappling off, Neil Magny's going to be trying to clinch. If Jake Matthews is able to outstrength him and potentially get this fight to the ground, Jake Matthews has a pretty decent submission game as well. I'm not going to pick a method here. Like I said, it's most likely a decision, but submission could be live here. I don't think he's knocking Neil Magny out. I'm going to go with Jake Matthews, the more primed, younger fighter to get it done in his hometown, baby. Next, we got an absolute banger between Jack Jenkins and Ramon Taveras at featherweight. I want to take Taveras, but something's telling me Jack Jenkins isn't going to lose another one. Something's telling me he's not going to lose another one. I can see Jack Jenkins getting chinned here. I don't even want to make a pick for this one, man. I don't even feel right giving a pick. Like I said, these are my picks. These are not my bets. I want to go with Ramon Taveras, man. But I can see him getting chopped up with leg kicks. Bad. Fuck. I want to pick Taveras. This is going to stay here. I want to pick Taveras. I just can't do it. I have to pick Jack Jenkins here. I think the leg kicks he's going to be back in form with the vicious leg kicks. Ramon Taveras likes to box a lot. He does kick, but he does a lot of work from the boxing. As you can see it right on his fucking tattoo right there, it says boxing. So if he's standing in that boxing stance, he's going to be susceptible to getting hit by those kicks. And Jack Jenkins has vicious leg kicks. He's broken multiple fighters' legs. I think that could be a serious problem for Taveras here. Jack Jenkins needs to get back in the win column, and I think he needs to do it in Australia at UFC Perth. Let me get Jack Jenkins to win, potentially by leg kick TKO. Obviously that's not the most likely thing that's going to happen, but let me get Jack Jenkins here. And then next we got Jimmy the Brute Crute and Ivan Erslan. I've seen a lot of people on Erslan, but I'm going with Jimmy Crute. Dialed, focused, ready to go. And of course, if you're watching the All Australia parlay, I mean, it has to be a must play. We've seen the All Canada parlay cash. Just recently, we saw the All Mexico parlay cash. So sprinkle that. Sprinkle the All Australia parlay. It'll be fun. I do think Jimmy Crute will be able to get it done here. He has pretty solid, not solid striking, but he has power. Ivan Erslan, he's pretty good in his own respect. As we saw him against Navajo Sterling, he put up a pretty solid fight there against a good striker. But Jimmy Crute is going to want to get this fight to the ground, and I think he could potentially find a submission victory here. Not much else to say about this one. I think Jimmy Crute is focused. I think he's dialed in. He's ready to go. He absolutely cannot afford another draw. It's time. It's time for Jimmy Crute to get back in the win column. Didn't he just win? Or did he get another draw? I got to look this up. Hold on a second. I got to look this up. Tell me why I think Jimmy Crute hasn't won a fight in like 5 years. I should have looked this up before, but we're just going to do it right now. This is all vibes off the top. Oh yeah, Jimmy Crute did get a win. Let's fucking go. See, Jimmy Crute's back on the win column. He just submitted Marcin Prachniow. And then since that, draw, loss. Last win before that was 5 years ago against Modestas Bukauskas. But I think he's looking to build some momentum here. Give me Jimmy Crute. Give me the Brute to get it done by submission or ground and pound. I don't know which one I'm picking, but I'm going with the Brute. I don't even know if that's his nickname, but it makes sense if it is. And you know who the fuck I'm rocking with for the main event of the night. UFC Perth, light heavyweight bout between Dominic Reyes and Carlos Ulberg. Give me the dog all day. I don't know what the odds are, but I can almost guarantee Dominic Reyes is an underdog. his resurgence, his late career resurgence has been absolutely beautiful to watch. He got chinned multiple times in a row, took a couple years off, and he's back on a 3-fight tear. If I'm not mistaken, all 3 wins come by first round knockout. Carlos Ulberg is tentative. He is patient, overly patient sometimes, and he is very comfortable with sticking on the outside and just winning a point fight. Dominic Reyes does not come in here to do any of that. Dominic Reyes is no nonsense. Could it lead him to getting chinned? Yes. Do I think he's primed and ready to go? Yes. So I'm going with Dominic Reyes, man. I'm all in on Dom Reyes, man. And you could call this one a bias pick as well, but I got to go with my guy, Dominic Reyes. There's little to nothing that could possibly make me happier in terms of UFC outcomes than Dominic Reyes winning this fight in explosive fashion over Carlos Ulberg, finding himself a title shot and then strapping that gold around his waist before he hangs him up. I would like nothing more for the Dominic Reyes to get that, man. He had a very close fight against John Jones some years ago, and obviously we saw his career took a turn after that, but he is absolutely streaking right now with a series of finishes, and I think he can... At this point, this is now the biggest fight in his career. This is a #1 contender match. Obviously, he fought for the title. That was the biggest fight, but we're talking about right here, right now. And this is the biggest fight for Dominic Reyes. He's 1 fight away from a title shot, and if he can finish Carlos Ulberg here, he will have that title shot, and I know he's hungry for it. Call me biased, call me whatever you want. He's the younger fighter here. He's taken more damage, but he has the fight finishing abilities, and I think his speed and his boxing could potentially get it done for him. So let me get Dominic Reyes, and let me get Dominic Reyes to win by knockout. I don't know how confident I'm feeling in it, but fuck it. We ball. I'm very excited for this fight. Obviously, Dominic Reyes is one of my favorite fighters. I'm going to be incredibly nervous. I'm going to be, oh my God, my heart. Come on, Dom. Let's go, baby. Let's go. You know I'm going to be rooting for the boy. Carlos Ulberg is all right. And he called out Dominic Reyes some time ago, too, when Dominic Reyes was on that finish streak or that getting finished streak, which we thought was whack as shit because Dominic Reyes is out here getting slumped left and right, looking like he wasn't going to make a resurgence. Carlos Ulberg gets a win and talking about, hey, let me get Dominic Reyes. Well, now you got what you want. Now you got what you want. Let's see if you can handle it. Dominic Reyes is a surging finisher. I just dropped my phone. I'm hyped. Let's fucking go. So we're going to go through it one more time. What the hell is going on here? Let me get Alexis Tainara over Loma Lukbumi. I think she's going to get the fight to the ground, and she's going to be dominant there. Brando Perisic to win by knockout over Alicia Ellison. Let me get Michelle Montague over Luana Carolina because of the rain bet picks. I cannot go with rain bet. Colby Thickness to be the cleaner, more polished striker and grappler over Josias Musasa. Rolando Bedoya in a very, very shaky, non-confident pick. Hopefully he's been putting some work in and he gets it done over Jamie Malarkey. Oban Elliott, shout out the Welsh gangster. We walking with Wells all day. Shout out D-Wood, shout out CST. Let me get Cameron Rouston, underdog to cash in Australia over Andre Petrosky. He's going to do the better work in the later rounds. Navajo Sterling to find a knockout over Rodolfo Bellato. Tom Nolan, club and sub over Charlie Campbell. Louis Sutherland by whatever the fuck he wants over Justin Tafo. Shout out Scotland. Shout out Gopher. Jake Matthews to be the younger, more prime fighter, taking a lot less damage to get it done over Neil Magny. That's not very confident either. Jack Jenkins via leg kicks over Ramon Tavares. That's not confident either, but I think Jack Jenkins really needs this win in Australia. And then give me Jimmy the Brute Crew over Ivan Urslan. He's going to get the fight to the ground and find a ground and pound or submission finish. It's up to him. And then let me get my guy, Dominic Reyes, to get it done. I'm very excited for this card. We didn't have one last week, I don't think. Maybe we did. Who knows at this point? It's been a while since I made a video, so we're going to be back consistent. Dana White's Contender Series this week is dropping on Sunday by all means necessary. And then next week's UFC card is going to be dropping on Monday. I'm very excited. I'll be dropping the best bet video tomorrow if I have time. I want to just go over a couple props of interest, a couple parlays, a couple underdogs that I like. And we'll talk about that one from more of a betting standpoint. This video today here is just my picks, but I'm excited to get going. Let's get after it. You already know the vibes. Throw a like down, throw a subscribe, and let me know your favorite underdog in the comments. Let me know your favorite pick of the week as well. We're going to be back ASAP. I appreciate everybody. Thank you very much for watching. GG's, Mike's Talks Fights. Let's go.